should we get to
So
our
important.
question,
Let's
which
do
is
it.
related
Let's do
to
it.
pansexuality? One of our listeners wrote in and said, I am in my 30s and am now starting to explore my sexuality. In high school, I had always been interested in men. And then in college, I started being a little bit interested in women. And
Mm.
now I kind of feel like I could be interested in anybody who makes my heart sing. Do you think it's too late to explore your sexuality in your 30s? And if it's not too late, how and where do you even start?
I don't think it's ever too late.
No. No. We know people who explore their sexuality in their 60s, and that is okay. That just means you are finally ready to do so. So
Hmm.
I agree, it's never too late. So, but where do you start?
That is a tough question. I do think there are like a lot of communities that exist out there. So I think that could be a place to start. Like, I know it's a little bit different question, but like the poly community, for example, exists. So I know people that were interested in polyamory were able to, find communities and talk to people and hear their stories. So I think hearing other people's stories, for me, that at least that would be a way to I'm gonna say that again. I think hearing people's stories is a really good way to just feel like you're not alone in this and to understand that other people have gone through something very similar. So that could be, finding podcasts that support it. It could be finding IRL people that you actually talk to and meet up with. I shouldn't even say IRL. It could be online too, but communities of people. I think that's super important. Just any education, and then really probably like you have to try things too, like go on
Mm-hmm.
those dates and just see how it's feeling and be upfront with it. We talk about this on the episode, we've talked about in other ones. Sometimes it's okay to even say like, this is my first date coming out of this, and then you might weed out people that maybe don't want to be like as experiential, but then there'll be some that are open to that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I think one good idea maybe is to put it in your dating profile that you're
Mm-hmm.
exploring. You're in a stage of being open-minded and finding anybody who, like you said, makes your heart sing. And I think that in turn will draw in the people who are also in that exploratory
Mm-hmm.
stage. Second piece of advice, listen to this episode because this is exactly what our guest went through. She had one identity in mind and she ended up with breaking free of all identities
Mm-hmm.
and just went with her heart. So keeping that open mind and listening to all of everyone else's journey stories will really help you through this too. But know that it is totally fine to start in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. It does not matter your age as long as you feel like you're open and ready to do so.
I think it's okay also to come back to where you started. We had a
Oh yeah.
past guest, Margot, from season 7. It was a while ago, and we had her on for part 1. She was talking about like frustrations with dating as a heterosexual female, and then one of our mutual friends asked if we had talked to her recently. This was months that went
Mm-hmm.
by. She was now in a relationship with a woman, so we had her back. And even in this exploration phase, she had gone on a date with a couple. She had done a bunch of different things that were outside of her comfort zone just to get to know herself better, get to know her sexuality better. And now she's gone back to dating men. And I think that's okay. Like, that's totally okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would personally rather, like, if I had the questioning, I'd rather figure out what's right for me, even if it means that the stuff in the short term ended up not being right. Because then you can say, okay, I'm good with my, I'm good with my situation. I've explored others and I know now this is what suits me.
Yes. Just don't get stuck in an identity. That's it.